I'm Anne Frank. In my diary, I have recorded the hopes, fears, joys, and frustrations of living for 2 years in cramped quarters under constant tension with 8 people, most of whom don't even understand me. But how can they? Sometimes I don't even understand myself. A selection from the Diary of Anne Frank by Frances Goodrich. Oh, Mother, who cares if it's dignified? I don't want to be dignified. All I want is fun, someone to laugh and clown with. After you've sat still all day and hardly moved, you've got to have some fun. Oh, I could cry. Don't tell me to be more like Margot. I don't want to be quiet like Margot. I won't have them walking all over me the way they do to her. Oh, things have changed. You want me to say, yes, Mother, no, Mother, anything you say, Mother. Oh, well, I've got to fight things out for myself. Oh, I know Margot doesn't fight. Oh, that's all we ever hear from everyone. Margot, Margot, Margot. How wonderful Margot is. Why aren't you like Margot? Oh, everything she does is right and everything I do is wrong. Oh, Mother, come back. Anne, you've hurt her feelings. Margot, let her go. Mother doesn't understand me anyway. She never did. She never will. Margot, wait, listen. Margot, do you hear the music? Oh, dance with me, Margot, please. Oh, Anne, I shouldn't. I have to help us supper soon. Oh, Margot, but by the time we get out of here, we're going to forget how to dance. Please, Margot, please. Anne. Oh, Anne, God forbid there's someone downstairs. You know it's not safe to make all that racket and jump around. You know we can't do that. Oh, you're right. I was just afraid of my culture. Anyway. Margot, how do I look? Do I look okay? My hair's not crazy, is it? And you look fine. Margot, you didn't even look. I did look, Anne. You look fine. Margot, tell me, am I terribly ugly? Of course you're not. You have beautiful eyes and a lot of animation. A little vague, aren't you? Anyway, I must look perfect. And you look perfect. But are you going into Peter's room again? Mother thinks you might be disturbing him, and you've been in there a lot of times today. And I think I have some intuition. And, Margot, I was in there exactly twice. Once to get the dictionary, and then 3/4 of an hour after lunch. I think it's safe to go. And Mother thinks you might be disturbing him. Please, why don't you just talk in the main room? It'd save a lot of trouble. You know Mrs. Von Ton. It just gives her a chance to be unpleasant. You know that. And it's hard on Mother to have to listen to Mrs. Von Ton's bad remarks and not say a word. But Margot, why doesn't she say a word? Oh, I think it's ridiculous to have to take it and take it. Anyway, don't worry about Mother. The only one I worry about is you. Oh, Margot, I've been feeling awfully guilty about you. Guilty? And why? Why would you feel guilty? You didn't do anything wrong. Oh, well, I don't know. It just seems that every time I go into Peter's room, I have a feeling I may be hurting you. Anne, you're not hurting me, I promise. It's okay. Are you sure? Because I know if it were me, I'd be jealous. I'd be desperately jealous if it were me. Are you sure? Anne, I promise it's okay. Really? Truly, you're not jealous? Not even a little bit? little jealous. Well, jealous that you've got something to wake up for in the morning. Oh, well, but jealous of you and Peter, no. Wait. Maybe there's nothing to be jealous of. Maybe he doesn't really like me. Maybe I'm just taking the place of his cat. But life has become more bearable since I go to Peter's room. I must confess, I actually lived for the next meeting. Oh, no, but don't think I like him, because I don't. But, I mean, we just talk, and it's wonderful to have somebody your age to talk to. It kind of takes the place of that old school friend. I don't know. Wait a minute. Margot, how about you come with us? Come on, please. All we do is talk just about life. Come on, you would love it, please. Oh, and I really shouldn't. And you go. I promise it's okay. Oh, but Margot, you would love it. It just takes out your feelings, and I mean, just keeping them bottled up inside you can't do that. You have to let them out. You have to. Come on, Margot, please, you'd love it. Come with us, please. And I promise it's okay. I have my book. Your book. Oh, and the crossword puzzle book I gave you. Oh, that's right. The poem you wrote me. Oh, read it, Margot. Read it, please. All right, I'll read it. You never lost your temper. You never should. I fear you are too good. And if you should, write all your crosswords here. And it was a beautiful present. Thank you so much. Oh, no problem. I got them for everyone. And I know the crossword book wasn't new, but I tried my best. I erased all the old answers. It was one of your old books. But if you wait a little while and forget, you can do them all over again. Oh, and it was a beautiful present. You'd never know it wasn't new. Thank you. By the way, are you feeling better today, Margot? Well, yes, I'm feeling a little better, thank you. Well, I mean, we filled you up with every kind of pill in the house so you won't cough and make noise. Yes. But you know, Anne, and sometimes I wish the end would come. Whatever it is. Oh, Mother was shocked when I said that. She said, think of how lucky we are to have a hiding place. When people are dying in the war every day. And all those poor people in concentration camps. She said, think of how lucky we are to be where we are. And think about all of the people we know. All the people we grew up with. All of our family members. They could be gone right now. You never know. All those poor families. But I mean, if we were gone, at least we know where we were. I mean, you just don't know where we are nowadays. There's so much evil out there in the world. And it's like you sit here and wait. And you wait. And you wait. You're just waiting for someone to knock on that door and come in. You just don't know, Anne. It could come at any time and you don't know. Margot. Oh, what's the good of that? What's the good of thinking misery when you're already miserable? That's stupid. Oh, we're young, you, me, Peter, and I. The grown-ups have had their chance. Oh, if you start thinking of all the misery in the world, we're lost. Think positive. We're going to get out of this. We're going to. Oh, Margot, don't leave me, please. Be the Margot I know and love. Oh, Margot, I don't know what to say. I can't believe you would think that way. Oh, it's a good thing I have my diary kitty to write in, or I'd go mad. Dearest Kitty, I know it's hard to think of all the good things in life, when everything around you is just so horrid. There's evil outside those windows, at the door. But if you think about it, We're all together in this little hiding place. It's a wonderful bonding experience, and I mean, you learn stuff about each other that you never would have known before. But even though there is so much horrible things out there in the world, there's so much love right next to me. But you know what I think? I think the world is just going through a phase. The way I was with Mother. Oh, it'll pass. Maybe not for hundreds of years. But I still believe, in spite of everything, that people are really good at heart. Thank you.
Hi, Mrs. Waite. I'm just here to show you the form. There is the criteria for judging. So I'm just going to read it to you real quick, and I'm going to read you what the notes that the judges had for me. They are right underneath. Okay. So the first section is for the introduction. And it says that the introduction must name the work and author, provide necessary background information, and establish the mood. If using a teaser or if lines from the selection are used in the introduction, the speaker must adhere to the rules of the event. And then the next one is for material. Single or multiple character cuttings should be considered equally. The student should be able to capture and convey the emotional and intellectual depths of the character, as well as the development of both the characterization and plot. Consideration should be given to the literary merit of the selection. The next one is characterization. Each character should be interesting, engaging, and lifelike. The performer should create a physical, vocal, and temperamental existence suited for each character. The performer should keep these choices consistent. The performer should use his or her face, eyes, and body to create the feelings and remembering when speaking and reacting. Characters should appropriately develop and or deepen as the plot or storyline progresses. The next one is multiple characterizations, if used, and in this case it was used. So the transitions when moving from one character to another should be clean and crisp. The pacing of transition should reflect the tempo of the interaction. The next one is environment. And it says for environment that each character should create a world around him or her. Movement should be used to create a three-dimensional environment in which the character exists. Pantomime, if used, should be accurate and realistic. Gestures should be fully realized, creating in just the right way what the performer intends the audience to see. When doing a multiple character selection, the performer should create effective interaction between the characters. And the last one is the overall effect. And it says the overall performance should build to various moments and have a climax. The story should be complete and easy to follow, and the performance should display another world outside of the performance space. Okay, so we had 3 rounds, and in the first round, you're ranked on a scale from 1 to 10, from 4 to 10. And in the first round, I got a 7. And the first judge said to be careful, your body language doesn't always show the difference between Margot and Anne. And it was true, the first time I did it, it was really confusing because I've never done a 2-character, it's almost like a dialogue, but one person's doing it, and I've never done that before. So it felt so awkward just turning, and I don't know, it was almost like embarrassing to do, so I kind of like toned it down, but now I realize that it's like, the more you do with that, the better. And she said also sometimes voices get mixed up, and that was true also. At the time this was done in, I believe it was October, and it wasn't as well developed. I mean, it was memorized and everything, and I think I had the characterization pretty well, I guess, sort of. I mean, I think the characterization is much better now. After I went over it a lot of times, I watched the movies and everything and looked at the difference. She said also you always use the same tone, which was true. I almost sounded irritated because I was trying to get the point across that I was frustrated to be kept in such like small space for that amount of time, but it almost comes off like hostile. So that's what kind of changed it a little bit. She says that I'm very loud for Anne, and I should vary this. It can become irritating. Yeah. I agree with that. But when the one I showed you, the one that I just did, I tried to change that as best I could. I don't know if I did a good job or not, but I tried. And then for round 2, I was also given a 7. And she said, good sneak preview in the intro. Character changes are a bit confusing. Make it more precise and connect it more by using more movement, like turn your body, but voices are good. Just be consistent throughout the performance. And more facial expression. She also said, build emotion when you say things. Don't just raise your voice to get louder, but for power. She said, work on developing the characters. And she said the climax is very confusing, which I agree, because I was yelling I wasn't really yelling. It was almost a frustration, hostile tone the entire time that you couldn't really tell where the climax was. So, there was that. And then round 3, I was given an 8. And it was a he. He said, very strong opening, good hook. Careful not to begin too high, which I've been told before by even my acting coaches. Don't begin too high, or else you'll have nowhere to build to. Have Anne look down at Margot, the character, since the other character is looking up. That was just something that I did that one time. I'm not really sure why I had Margot looking down on Anne and Anne looking up at Margot, because Anne is the younger sister. But I think that could get a little confusing, so what I did for you was just like almost like the same level, and I think that's a lot easier unless you like it better the other way, and we could try to work with it. But I just think it's a little confusing. But I mean, it's okay. He said, you'd benefit from a little more differentiation vocally between characters. I can tell because it's like too similar between the voice. You can't really tell who's who. Great change of pace and tone. You did this well, and wonderful pause. He said, don't pace, move only with purpose. And he said, committing this to memory has paid off. Good job. You have a great vocal skills, used well. I thoroughly enjoyed this. Thank you. So, those were my scores. And, since then I've looked it over a lot, and I've changed it a lot. So, I just hope it's better. All right, thank you so much.